what happened in my family also is happening.
Well, drugs do that.
It's not drugs. I think it's because we are guided by law,
Mm-hmm.
and the law never takes into account bad behavior. See, the girl right here in our office, she will never say good morning to anybody, and she'll have a surly face. And many people who are homeless, they come and say, they feel very hurt. They said,
You tell me this girl this desk right here. Yeah.
so they told me, can you go talk to her and just tell her to just say hi, good
Yeah.
morning, right? So I go there and I tell her, I said, hey, I said, my patients say, I said, can you just say good morning to them? When they just, she wouldn't look up. She wouldn't greet them. And when they say good morning, she would ignore. Okay. So I'm like telling her, just very nicely. I went up and I said, would you just look up when they talk to you
Right.
and say good morning?
No,
You know?
no.
No, I didn't even say that. I said,
Right.
hey,
No.
when they say good morning, because I decided just to because that's all he said. He says, can you go talk on my behalf? Because he was afraid. I said, and be my voice. So just tell this. Okay, so I kind of used my voice to express what he wanted. I said, I promised to do that for you. So I go there and I say to her, would you just, when he says good morning, say good morning back because he's homeless. He walks here. It takes him half hour to get here. And it's very painful for him when you don't say good morning.
Yeah.
And you know what she wrote? I will really appreciate if you could never, not ever do that again to me. It's embarrassing. If you are having issues with me, please take me far away from patients when correcting me, or you can speak to upper management.
Holy shit. That's ridiculous.
So then I wrote back
You
saying,
didn't even do
I
anything.
I wrote back saying, I I was hoping to hear I am sorry
Yeah.
instead of that following response, which is atrocious and appalling, justifying a behavior without remorse. So then, the CEO, right? You know what she said?
Yeah.
She says, by law, you're not requested to be nice.
Oh my God, then you shouldn't be in this position. You know what I mean?
No, but like, I am serious. What I'm saying is, we are run by the state.
Yeah.
Because right now we are in bankruptcy.
Mm-hmm.
So the judge is kind of like, I mean, he is appointed. So the CEO is appointed by the court.
Right.
So the attitude of our CEO is, we want to ring the bell every 10 minutes to tell you not to talk to your patients, and we don't need to be nice. That's the message, right? Like,
That is
essentially, that's what
ridiculous.
exactly she said. And then I decided, I'm going to be very strict on behaviors in
God.
future. So
If
this
someone
is
said
this.
this to me, I would say, oh God, I'm sorry. Oh yeah, I'll do it.
Those schools of people are leaving. The younger generation has a very different attitude about life. I
Then to
seriously
me,
think
she
we are
shouldn't.
having. And so then what happened in my home, right? This is the office situation.
Mm-hmm.
My home, my kids are very nice, but the problem is, right? Last week we were on school vacation. That's why I didn't see you,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
So I am not allowed to go on vacation sometimes with them. So
Right.
last week, because they were on school vacation, my husband went to New Hampshire. I took one day off, Thursday, and Wednesday is usually my day off. So my kids were flipping out. A whole week we are missing, and we want to come back. So my husband says he will stay back there,
Mm-hmm.
and he says. So I told him I don't mind. Like, I took the day off just for them. I said I mind bringing them back on Thursday. So essentially they had weekend vacation. Monday we spent together. Tuesday I came back to work. Wednesday I spent one day with them. So Thursday I said, "Hey, I can cut short my vacation. It's not a problem."
Right.
So I drive them back. So my middle child, he's 18. So I just when we were almost near the home, I actually had to stop on the way my car to get my charger because I was still on call to send you the scripts. That's
Right.
why, like, I remember last week it got
Yes.
delayed
Yeah.
and my charge was running out. So I got the charger of the car
Yeah.
and that pissed him off. that pissed him off, and he was doing this, and so then
Like
when we
5 minutes makes a difference to them.
so
Wow.
then when we were very near the home, I told him, "Would you check in with me tonight at 9 o'clock to just tell me where you are?" I am not even asking for permission.
Right.
So he refused to answer. And I told him, the minute I go home, if in case you get in the car and leave, I have no way of tracing you. And I
Right.
said, it's very important for me to know where you are. I'm not even asking you to tell me whether you check in. I'm just telling you, would you just inform where you're going?
Yeah.
That's all,
Yeah.
like text
Yeah.
me or do something. And he says he might not do that. So I said, in that case, I am turning right back. We're going back to New Hampshire. I said, I cannot deal with it because I am the responsible parent that night.
Right.
And the reason I did it is my husband says, shame on you. You don't even know where your kids are. Okay, this is what he'll say. And my kids, so I asked my son, I said, what type of a mother you want me to be? So he says, Mom, you have no idea where we hang out. So you're not like that. You're not tuned in. So that's when it hit me. It's important for him to be treated that way.
Right.
See, for me, it's not a big deal. So
Right.
that's the reason I even asked him
Right.
because it doesn't even,
Because
it's
he
not
told
important
you.
because he told me that type of a mother
Right.
he needs me to be because essentially he treats me without respect because his dad is like plugged in that way.
Yeah.
So that's because my husband talks like that in front of my kids.
That's
And
never a
like
good
I said,
idea.
we are very dysfunctional, and that's a behavior he always took. And I had to put up with it because my kids were younger,
Mhm.
they didn't have words. But now he's turning 18, and they are acting out. And for me coming back, taking my time out, they're not even saying I'm grateful.
Right.
What the heck is going on? So I said, I'm going to turn right back. So I turned back the car. I said, I'm done with this bullshit. So I'm turning back. He jumps out of a running car.
Oh my God.
So then
You
I
get
called
hurt.
the police. I called the police
You
because,
get hurt,
what
didn't
happens is when he gets hurt, I cannot trust my husband not to call the police.
Right.
Because the last time he called and I was actually homeless that night. So I don't want him to play me either.
Right.
So
So
because
you're
I have no
better off.
idea who this guy is I'm married to. It's like, I cannot
What
trust him.
nationality is he?
He's white.
Okay.
But the problem is, right, it's like almost like problem solving is a problem with that side, like, him, my children,
Yeah.
because they feel what is right, they want to enforce, but not necessarily what is compassionate.
Yeah.
So I want to really correct it with my children because my husband, I cannot correct him. I
Right.
have to only deal with a wild card. He's like a loose cannon. But with my kids, I feel I have to be mothering them, whether I like it or not, right?
Right.
So the police shows up. You know what they said? If I transport my son against himself, they're going to arrest me.
Oh my God.
I'm telling you, we have a serious problem in this country. So I looked at the officer and I said, I'm appalled at you. I said, I called you for support. And is this what you tell?
Yeah.
And he
Yeah.
says, yeah, this is what it is. I said, I will tell you. My husband called the police on me 15 years ago when I was pregnant with the youngest one.
Yeah.
And I said I was homeless one night because you told me I cannot knock on my door. He says, that didn't happen on my watch. I said, so it's your department.
Yeah.
So you're telling me I have no rights, but whereas my son has the right. And I said, this is crazy. I said, how can I raise my kids?
Right.
I am the responsible parent tonight, and he jumped out of a running car.
Right.
I said, how can you tell me my husband cannot call the police saying I am the endangering parent,
Right.
So then,
you had to protect
then
yourself.
you know what? Actually, the elder officer, he was very kind. He was saying to my son, hey, do you still live with your parents? He says, yeah. Do they feed and clothe you?
Mhm.
He says, yes. He says, wouldn't it be common courtesy for you to ask for permission? And that is when, his behavior got redirected. But he still said to the officer, I'm afraid she's going to drive back to New Hampshire. I said, don't worry. They parked one car up in front of me, a police car, a backup car in the back. I was blocked, and they told him, don't worry, you can get into the car. We'll make sure your mom doesn't transport. So he got in the car. Instead of negotiating with me, decides to call his dad And he calls his dad. Says, guess what, Dad? Mom called the cops on me. And so my husband says, give the phone to her. And then he says, Basu. And I said, hey, I said, only two questions I want you to answer. Am I coming to New Hampshire or are you coming down to Massachusetts? He said, neither is happening. I hung up on him.
Yeah, good.
And
Good.
I said to my son, I said, I'm going back. And so because I cannot control the situation anymore.
Right.
And then my youngest one started following him and getting down. I said to him, if you ever get out of here, I said, you're going to have a problem. So the cop said, no, she's right. You're 15. You need to get in the car. So the 18-year-old got out, took his bag, and started walking home. And then 8 o'clock, he texts me saying, I'm going to sleep over. You can go back home. He's giving me permission. Okay.
Oh, thank you.
So meantime, my husband came back. Okay. Came back. And then my son said he wanted to go for bowling. So the youngest one I dropped. They all text with each other. So my youngest one texts me saying, Mom, I feel more comfortable sleeping in my own bed. You take your time and figure your life out. I don't want you to be between you and my brother. So if you want to take a break, you take a break. But I want to go home because he knows dad is home.
Yeah.
I told him Wednesday, Thursday is my night. I said, Sasha, I said, you agreed to come back to me. And I was in the other office. All of office, I have a sleeping room. And I told him, if you don't come back tomorrow, I'm going to go apply for custody. I mean, this is gone far enough. I cannot afford this. Right? And so he was doing a play date with another guy in the bowling building. So that mother I called, she says, it's not unreasonable for your son to go back home. You probably need to go to therapy. I said, you know what? I said, you are right, provided we had a plan before. A child making a plan in the middle of his play date is not okay. I said, if you do not bring him back, I'm going to call the cops and I'm going to have him escorted to my home. And she says, oh, I didn't know you guys had such a bad issue with your relationship. I'm so sorry. I said, no, we have dysfunction. We are very happy. Yeah. I said, you need to listen to what I'm saying. He doesn't have privilege tonight to go back home. That's all I wanted you to listen. Yeah. Don't give me therapy. Don't tell me what to do. Like I said, I am amazing you. I'm actually a therapist. But I don't want to tell her that. I'm like saying how people come to a conclusion. Yeah. So then afterwards, my son said, okay, I'll come back to your apartment. And he came at 11 o'clock at night. He was a little sad. And I told him, Sasha, you are the tipping scale. If you have not come back tonight, I said I would have definitely gone to the police because I have at least 4 years left with him. Right. The other two I lost. And next day morning I came. I actually called my middle son. He was sleeping over. I said, I'll pick you up. I said, if you want, we can have a chat. And then I'll go to work. But you feel if there is nothing to talk about, that's fine too. He says, no, Mom, I want to make up with it. So he comes and I said, what do you want to say to your mom? So he says, I overreacted. I'm sorry. I said, no. Okay, Chris, I said, you didn't overreact. I said, you were a perfect sociopath. I said, you knew how to talk to the police officer. You knew how to talk to the dad. You knew how to hold your power. The only person who you made powerless was your mom. That's a very nice sociopathic skills, excellent schooling of emotions, and perfect behavior. And I said, I'm so proud of you. But this is a fork in the road. If you can use this to do the right thing, you're going to excel. If you use these skills to put people down, you're going to go to the sociopathic path. Right. And I said, what you behaved was you acted out and you didn't have tools. And I said, that's where I'm going to teach you, to teach you tools. But I said, I still have to mother you whether you would like it or not. And I said, knowing that, I said, I would like you to acknowledge that you over or needs are overacting. You acted out, and you would understand. And when a parent who is in charge, you behave. So he kind of didn't say the way I wanted. He says, Mom, yes, I overacted. And I'm sorry, I caused the problem. And I said, you also need to understand, just by you winning, I lost grounds. Sasha had to sleep over another place. Your dad had to come back, cutting back his vacation. Ripple effect on police officers had to show up. So 4 different entities we got involved. The neighbors were involved. And
Right.
I said, is that worth it for you? That's all I want you to
Right.
analyze, I don't know whether he gets it or not, but I kind of had to say that. And then I let it go. Then next day, that night I came and my husband says, honey, see, helped. I came back. I said, yeah, you did come back. So then I decided I'm not going to talk to him that night because I was so exhausted. I didn't sleep the night before.
Mm-hmm.
So that night, Friday night, when I came back home, I said, hey, I said, did you talk to your son? He says, that's when he says, why don't you tell me what is your role in this? He says, only thing you can correct is you. I said, hey, you know what? I thought there's little chance left for us. I took out my wedding ring and I said, I'm done.
Mm-hmm.
I said, what we have marriage now is I have an adult with 3 generations I'm supporting. My dad who cannot be independent, you who cannot be independent, but you're parenting with me,
Right.
and 2 adult kids. I said, what I need is a different structure. I said, nothing is changing, but I said, I don't think we need to be married to this. I said, let me go to the court and figure it out. He says, in that case, you need to get out. And I said, okay, when do you want me to get out? Tonight? Or, when is the deadline? He says, if remember, if you ever go to the court, you need to step out. We are all happy without you. But if you're willing to negotiate, we can work together. But it is on my terms because I got married to you to live my life. And I said, that's what. I said, I ended that relationship. I'm not putting that ring back. I said,
Yeah.
it's ended. But I said, I am not changing anything. You're going to get paid and you're going to live everything you want, but not with the realms of marriage. He says, if you ever go to court, that's not happening. I'll ask for more money, more support. But if you're willing to negotiate and just gather information, I'm willing to let it status quo continue and you can live under my roof. I said, okay.
Under his
I said,
roof, aren't you supporting him?
so I said,
So
let me find out. So I went to the child, adult children, what are the rules?
yeah.
Come to find out, you need to have a 90-day plan. The person who's in charge, they have to report, and that applies to me too.
Mhm.
And if in case we are living there and supporting each other, the fridge has to be filled. Otherwise, it's considered abandonment. We can be arrested. So we cannot transport a child against their will. So guess what? From now on, he has to transport my children. I'm like saying, and then he needs to make sure my fridge is filled. He needs to feed me. And I said, if I have to get out, you need to give me a 90-day plan. I said, so many things falls into place. So that's when, it's like his thing is ringing, I guess.
Yeah.
So I said, actually, I also had rights. I didn't realize it. I'm going to enforce this.
Good.
So actually, we went to Audubon and we went for a walk. We wanted to go for a walk. He took me for a silent walk. He wanted to test me. I said, nah, but just speak up about. I spoke about nature, all this, and then afterwards, right? We went for Audubon Society, and I'm looking at my son, and I said, hey, what do you want from me as a mother? He says to me, only financial support from now on. I said, oh, that's brilliant. So the thing is,
But you're so
it
much
makes
more
it.
than that.
No, but like I'm saying, I told him. That's when I told him. I said, you are free, but not yet independent. Independence means you pay your rent, you can drive your own car, you have a way of transporting yourself, you're feeding yourself. Until then, whether you like it or not, I'm going to mother you.
Right.
Yeah. I said, even your dad needs support from me. My dad needs support from me. I said, this is 3 generations I'm supporting. And I said, you guys are free, but you're not independent. Do you understand that?
Yeah, they're not.
And then I think that's when it hits him, see, the thing is, it takes a lot of patience to talk through them.
Yeah.
Because I process it on my own and I see so many people, and that's why it makes it easy. And I have a very good spiritual teacher who says to me, actually, he says, freedom is not independence. He's been saying this for a long time.
Mm-hmm.
So I could apply that in a way that made sense to them because I got it. My husband, I don't think, gets it. So he only plays the legal card. But legal card doesn't work. It means nothing. It's like jack squat.
Right, so.
You can squat all you want. But it means nothing to me. So then my son said, okay. So he says, go for it. That's what he said. So I sometimes don't understand the American way of talking. So I
Yeah.
asked my husband, what does he mean? He says, you need to be very grateful, you know. I said, why? He says, he could have just said, I want nothing to do with you. Our relationship is done. And he could have like walked out of your life. And you need to be very grateful. He graciously agrees to have a relationship with you. I said, oh, really? That's very interesting. So I said, okay, I'm so grateful. I mean, but the thing is, like, these are the
Okay.
people I'm dealing with.
Yeah.
And it's very interesting. And then I said to him, I have a stepdaughter. We had the same issues before. So I'm like, just we are talking about Christmas, I'm trying to see whether should I really not be around for Christmas. Like, I'm trying to figure out what is my role because even my youngest one prefers, but I think he felt very sad because when I took off my ring, I'm not going to put it back. I
Yeah.
feel what we had as a marriage is ended.
Right.
But what we have is like, I am responsible. I'm not taking away the responsibility,
Right.
but I am parenting as an adult four foster adult people.
Right.
One is my father, my husband, who is my foster care, and then my two adult kids. Plus, I'm responsible for my custody of my youngest one. So my role
Right.
is changed as a mother, but his role is like essentially, I don't know whether he gets it or not. It's still he feels he's under control, but I really broke that part for me.
Yeah.
I felt I could see where the problem was. So he was saying you should have like negotiated with him, and I told him in crisis you never negotiate. In crisis you deal with it because the behavior is dangerous.
Right.
About jumping out of a car when your mother is driving.
I
mean,
know.
it's
He
like
didn't
stupid,
get hurt at all.
I mean, yeah, but no, no. Actually, it's because I was
Just a little
backing
bit,
up
yeah.
and I was just slow. But the thing is, like, the problem solving skills need to improve, right? He
Right.
needs to say, Mom, can we talk about it? Like, he could have like done it. And even after the police was blocking, he could have looked at me, say, Mom, I'm sorry I acted out. Can we, like, think about it?
Right.
Instead, he chose to call the father and mock me.
Right.
That just
Yeah.
shows such disrespect,
Yeah.
But I don't think they even understand what he's doing. My husband, he could have also told them, hey, Mom is there and you shouldn't be calling me.
That's
And
what
so,
he should have been doing.
yeah, but
all
that's
along.
because that's normal adult. My husband is not a normal adult. He has special needs.
Yeah.
He's spiritual priest, he thinks, and he's bringing spirituality into my life. So that's the way he imagines himself. And I want to have him that post. I'm fine. You're not in heaven, but
Right.
you're acting as though you're in heaven. So I need to deal with that too. That is considered delusional or like whatever it is, psychotic behavior. But I have to deal with it, right?
Mhm.
Like I'm like saying so. But these are all normal looking, very pleasant looking people who
Yeah.
assume. My husband says, since four of us agree that there's a problem with you, you are the one who is crazy. I said, yes, that's fine. And let all four of them agree. But I know I am sane. It's like Matrix. There is only one neon, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
That's fine. Let them
But even
deal.
for you to talk to like that, I mean,
It's okay. Actually, I'm not at that place. When I did this book, Boring Way to Be Happy,
yeah.
I went through this utter chaos because literally my life was falling apart, and I got no help from the society, no help from the police. The only thing that corrected my wish was I was in a fellowship in Brigham and Women,
Yeah.
and my boss told me if you don't get involved with domestic violence, I'm not giving you the job back. He says I'm going to fire you right on the spot because everybody else could see what the problem was, and
Yeah.
I was not able to.
Yeah.
So I was in a very deep pain, and I was meditating. I showed you the symbol, right? The blizzard made this sign
No.
because
Yeah.
nature. Actually, God talks to me. The only human being is the only one who I'm having a problem with.
Just human being.
So the blizzard made this sign,
Okay.
and it said it's an I Ching symbol. It says this is the symbol for resoluteness. This means know whatever the given situation, what is legally correct.
Right.
Judgment would be severe, balance it with what is morally fair. That's when I went to law library and I put together Monday, Tuesday, my husband's day, Wednesday, Thursday, my day, every other weekend is one. So 5 days on, 5 days off. We
Right.
develop the protocol,
Yeah.
and my whole life fell into place. So I did it all this time. This happened in 2002, this problem.
Okay, so you're
But
doing
the
it.
symbol came to me in 2005. So 3 years of like total despair. I really
Yeah.
didn't know what to do. And I think at the third year, I was so overwhelmed. Because the incident happened August 2002, February 2000, because all these events are very painful. It imprints on my
Yeah.
brain. So February 2005 is when I got this answer. And then my husband still used to drag me to put me out. On May 12th, 2012, finally he told me because my stepdaughter ran out from her home that he would never ever drag me out from my own home. First time I came home. So after being married from 1998 to 2012, that is 8, 9, 10, 11, 14 years later, he loved me.
Yeah.
Even that night, he put me out. He dragged me, and when I went out, I came to the garage door. I said, "You gave me your word. You're
Right.
not going to do it again." And he apologized. First time,
Yeah.
and that's the
Wow.
first time I felt safe in my own home
Wow.
because he's heavier than me,
Yeah.
so he can
Well, you're
easily
so
drag me
small.
out. So, and I didn't want to play the game of calling police and stuff. If he
Yeah.
touches me in anger, the only thing I tell him is, "You cannot touch me in anger." So
Right.
even dragging is not okay.
Right.
But I think it took me that much time to stand up. I
Well, I'm
kept
glad you
working at it,
did.
and this time also, like April 19, 2018, same thing. I felt second generation is continuing. My husband's behavior, he was raised by another mother. With my child, I cannot tolerate even one day of this misbehavior.
Right.
So I said, I'm going to put my foot down, and this nonsense cannot continue.
Right.
So I think they're going to get me. Eventually, they'll get me.
I hope so.
And
I hope so because I don't think you want them doing what your husband does. I mean,
I think he is very nice, my husband, but he has difficulty accepting. Um, it's like a one-way boundary. He will give rules,
yeah.
but you cannot negotiate.
Yeah, I know, and that's not okay. Like,
But who is going to go tell him? It's his house.
especially where he thinks he's heaven. I mean,
Yeah.
coming.
Yeah. So I feel it's, but see, that's what I actually love him enough
Yeah.
to let it go.
Yeah.
But love doesn't mean I can condone a certain behavior. That's why, all this law thing I'm putting together. This is what people with insanity go through.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not saying he's insane, but his behavior shows he doesn't understand and figure out what's right for others.
Right.
So when he doesn't understand, when he doesn't come from the space of compassion, I by being a physician,
Mm-hmm.
you need to understand how you are affecting another person's behavior because we are judged by our intention too.
Right.
So I can easily lose my license. See, what I'm saying is I cannot do what he does to me because
Never.
it's not acceptable.
Right.
No, by law, I
Yeah.
cannot. See, when they know my judgment wise, I work with recovery people.
Yeah.
And if in case we go to court, I would be taken to task more than him.
Right.
Because it's expected him to
Right.
be in recovery doing all this,
Yeah.
but not expected of a physician who specializes in recovery. So this challenge is so unique. That's why I feel so blessed to be in this position where I can see the problem and I can be the solution, but cannot implement immediately. So I have to have
It's a
time.
good thing you're a strong woman to be able
Yes.
to deal
Oh
with
my
all
God.
that because most people would just break down.
That's actually that's the reason in 2016 I went and I got a sainthood.
Yeah.
I actually went because I even told my husband, I said, "You really need a saint," and I meant it. But I think he thinks I'm joking. Actually, I went and got to a sainthood. In Christianity, they call it third order saint,
Yeah.
where you are in the family life, but you can ascend. You work through.
Right.
You can still do the nun part.
Yeah.
And I went and I asked in India, that piece is called Rishi, that
Mhm.
saint, meaning like you are in the sacred pathway, but do all the expected roles in the family. So I already got it, and I feel I already have a space in heaven. I don't even need
I'm
to
sure you do,
because I
yeah.
feel God. Seriously, when I call God, in one instant, I get my answer. And that night, I was praying 14, I was going through some issues, like, trying to figure out, like, what is the way to reset this family, how to make sure the hurt I caused my son not to be traumatic for him, be gentle on him, like,
Yeah.
so every day making sure, like, his needs are being met.
Hmm.
He wanted a tomato for a sandwich, and I go home so late, I couldn't get tomato. Every day morning, he'll wake up and say, "Is there tomato?" And I said, "I have only can because I am a dollaritarian. So I'll always get my supplies, my personal supplies,
Right.
dollar or less. The cans for tomatoes, 49 cents to 69 cents. So
Yeah.
I don't like everything I thought think through, and
Right.
even my shirts I design, my ring I design.
Yeah.
So I felt I don't need to live beyond my means, and
Right.
everything else I give it to my family.
Yeah. You give
You
it
know,
away.
I actually, my car I drive a used car. Like, like I live very simple lifestyle. So I felt so bad I couldn't stop and get tomato. And next day morning, like, it took, because of all this late work and stuff, I really didn't buy tomato. So when I went there, he again asked Tuesday morning, Monday morning this happens. Tuesday morning again he said, "Is there tomatoes?" Monday, Tuesday is my husband's day anyway.
Right.
So I felt horrible, I'm like, my God, second day it's happening. Oh, Tuesday morning he asked and Wednesday morning. So when I was there in the shop yesterday, I went to Aldi and I got, like, one tomato for $1.99. I watched like everything, Other one was $1.39. And I come back home and my husband was pissed off. Why did you stop a tomato? I already got it. And I said, I really felt bad, like 2 days in a row, like, he asked.
Right.
And, there's such a small thing, for the kids.
Yeah.
So I really wanted to get it for him. So then, yes, yesterday evening, my son came after the meet and he says he was wicked hungry and he says, "Dad, can you make me a sandwich?" And I said, "Yes, I'll make you the sandwich." And he says, "No, Mom, I don't want you to make." I think he's making like a very distinct separation.
Yeah.
And food, definitely, Dad is the only guy.
Right.
For me, only money. Like, you could see the split already in his
Yeah.
mind
Well,
happening.
Dad's always been the cook too, though, right?
Yeah, but Wednesday is
much.
my day though.
Right.
So,
Yeah.
like, in the past, whatever I cook, he'll eat.
Right.
But I see, like, a little shift happening in him. Okay.
Yeah.
So it kind of breaks my heart, but what can I do? I can just only watch, and I have to be accountable for causing that pain too. I have to release that.
Yeah.
So then my husband, right, he made the sandwich. And then I go and he yelled at me for getting the tomatoes. So I assume he used the tomato he bought.
Yeah.
He used the one I bought. So, which is good because I actually wanted to know which tomato my son liked because one was Roma, one is organic.
Yeah.
So my husband chose organic to be used because
Right.
he is high end,
Yeah.
So I said, "Oh, I'm so glad you used." So next time I'll know, like, which one to
did
get,
he like better?
which you like better. So, but Roma anyway, like, since my husband chose, my son emulates my husband, so I would instead just stick to the $1.99.
Yeah.
Roma is only for me. I'll get this
Yeah.
way, like, I don't need.
I like the Roma tomatoes.
Yeah, I do, and it's cheaper.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, I like the Roma tomatoes.
sometimes it's like 99 cents.
Yeah.
Like, I can get cheaper. But then, that even then, right? Like, I don't know whether he really got the tomato. I should open the fridge and see, but I didn't even bother because today I'm fasting.
Yeah.
And I fast most
Do you
of
do
the
that
days.
like once a week or?
The way I'm doing it nowadays is today for another reason I'm doing. Today is the 11th day after the lunar cycle, so the coming full moon is very powerful.
Yeah.
So if fasting means you can do liquids and fruits and stuff.
Yeah.
But not crunchy, like, more like a soft diet and nature diet.
Yeah.
The reason is what we eat today will affect us during full moon, so you can have headaches, seizures. So you really want to catch your blood pressure issues today.
Yeah.
And mindset that comes into the brain to anchor.
Yeah.
So they call it ajna. So all the hormonal process, like how the parathyroid, pineal, pituitary, all that will reset
Right.
on full moon. If not, we will have mood issues, bipolar,
Wow.
manic, and before a new moon, mindset that comes into the heart. So that is when we will feel very sad, depressed, and stuff. So this one is the most powerful one for the year.
Really?
Spring
When's
moon.
it coming?
30th, I think.
Okay.
Today, just pay attention to what you're eating. That's all.
Yeah.
Stick to something that doesn't have too much chemicals and stuff.
Right.
Because this one gets digested in energy in 72 hours.
Yeah.
So you will start having headache and stuff in 2 days, and you feel very lousy on the full moon. And full moon energy is like, remember the tides? We are inside tides.
Yeah.
So whatever we have as a little problem will project in the brain bigger.
Wow.
Because the brain will perceive it as though it's a bigger problem.
Yeah.
So that's why people will act on it. So people will get very aggravated.
I know. We used to notice it all the time.
In the hospital, that's when we'll get more admissions. Babies will be born suddenly.
Yeah.
Like things would move quicker.
Yeah, I worked with emotional behavioral, and you could tell the difference. It was like, oh, it's got to be a full moon tonight.
And the full moon also is not just 24 hours. It's sometimes it'll start a little early and a little late. And this is one of the most powerful ones for the year.
I hardly believe in that because, like I said, I've seen the effects of knowing. You could know a full moon was coming soon. It was like, oh my God.
Already, many of my patients last week itself, they said they started feeling dizzy. Have you noticed it?
Me too.
People are saying, I'm feeling very sick. Some of their blood pressure was so high. I was telling them, watch it. Because seriously, today, if you reset, you can at least have a little pleasant time. One of the things my teacher says is if you wake up with a headache, right, anytime, whether today, tomorrow, day after tomorrow, change your bed sheets, change everything in your bedroom because that inhaled toxins also is activating you. So clean your room, not with chemicals, just mop or something, and reset your bedroom because the gases also is going to be emitted more.
Yeah, it's funny because I have been dizzy, and I'm thinking, I don't know what was going on. I said I could just be tired, or
Yesterday morning I was so wiped out. I actually, after I had a shower, I came and lie down on the bed because I was I think it's because my diet is so wacky, and I really wanted to reset today. That's why I'm paying attention today, and then I think tomorrow I'll normalize my diet. But I wanted to energetically, because of all this acting out with my kids going on.
Right.
I went to the temple and I asked my priest, because he's my counsel, and I was saying, hey, what is going on? And he said, see, when people look at you put well together, he says it creates an energy of envy.
Yeah.
And he says sometimes that also gets played out, the jealousy and envy. And my teacher says it another way. He says they want what you have, but they don't want to give you credit for what you went through.
Oh.
So that's another way of saying. So I could see that perspective.
Yeah.
But indirectly, by me not paying attention, I am building an energy that I'm not in harmony with.
Right.
So I need to balance myself, not build myself so much that I have a bigger crash.
Yeah.
And that is one way of saying it. The other thing is there is a big transition that happened. 3 major saints in India died, both in the month of March.
Really?
And
my mother used to hate the month of March. She always
actually my
died.
That's so interesting you say that, because my original teacher died. My mother died in March.
Yeah.
March 25th she died. And my original teacher died March 19th. And this other teacher died in March. I don't know what it's about March.
Something. My mother's always felt that.
Yeah. So I went to the temple April 15th. That is my spirit mother's birthday. Lakshmi, I call her. And when I went there, I was sitting in front of her. I don't know whether I shared this with you. So I have my marriage pendant in a green cord I'll wear.
Yeah. No.
And she, for some reason I felt like going and visiting somewhere else. And usually she'll be very particular. In energy, she talks to me. And, you could see, some sort of a vibration shift will happen. When I walk, the whole floor felt like dum, 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 dum. So I could feel, she was, very much pleased. That's her birthday. That's why, Easter, how you guys celebrate.
Yeah.
So that's a birth of this nurturing force in earth. Literally, it happens. That day is the mother earth was born as a nurturer to feed the souls. That's when the food was created.
Yeah.
And the story goes, I don't know whether you want to hear this, but the
No, I
story
do.
goes there is a seat of wisdom called pineal gland.
Yeah.
The pineal gland was having a fight with the nurturing part of the soul, which is oxytocin release.
Yeah.
Okay, so the pineal gland said the oxytocin release is called infinite altruism, but it doesn't need to be in the physical body. I'm like saying pineal gland is blue pearl, they call them.
Yeah.
Blue pearl. These people are like, very ascended being,
Mm-hmm.
and they are like divine wisdom.
Yeah.
And the consort is infinite altruism. So Padma, the pearl inside the blue light is that literally like the essence of what the wisdom needs to hold on to. The oyster, like
Okay.
the Padma is like the seed. They consider it like a lotus, so it's a blue lotus,
Yeah.
and then the pearl inside. That's why they call it blue pearl. It stays together. In energy, when people clairvoyantly see, they see a blue. That's why people wear a hat. In Popanal wear a hat. When
Yeah.
you achieve that status, when your blue pearl is activated, you get a hat.
Yeah.
So people who have, that's why like ancient beings will always have hats. Pope will have a hat, Popal hat,
Yeah.
because that's when their wisdom is connected and they will give discourses with that
Really?
connection. It's a very phenomenal, these
Yeah.
knowledges. But anyway, so the blue pearl, the story goes that seat of wisdom and unflit compassion had a disagreement. The seat of wisdom said, you do not need that compassion. You just need the wisdom.
Yeah.
So the compassion decided to take off. So the pearl left. Okay. So the blue seat continued.
Right.
So then people were not fed, and then people pangs of hunger. Everybody is hungry for something, either for emotional need or physical need, mental need. People felt spiritually restless.
Yeah.
And also physically restless, whatever that gave them the love feeling. So that's when the wisdom understands, oh my God, I misspoke. I do need you.
Yeah.
You need to be there. So, but instead she doesn't want to come back. They use word she because when it's nurturing, it's a she, and when it's protective, it's a he.
Right.
It's all inside,
Yeah.
So it's not like he or she.
Yeah.
They misspoke. That's why there's no female pope, I guess. They didn't correct it ever.
No.
So it's like almost like a female can never have a wisdom. It's like
Surprise.
Yes, I know. I don't know when. I don't know in our lifetime we'll see a female pope. I don't know.
I doubt it.
So anyway, so she goes and then she couldn't bear the hunger of our children. So she decides to take her own seed to nurture. Okay, she puts herself there so people will come, she will feed them.
Yeah.
So everybody is asked to bring their begging bowl, because she's going to fill it. Begging bowl meaning essentially you need to bring something to hold what she's offering, right? So everybody, instead of holding on, she says, bring your bowl, So everybody brought the bowl, and then finally the wisdom gets off, and he brings his own begging bowl, and he says, "Please come back to me." So that was his wish. So she accepts that.
Oh, okay.
She goes back, and that's when you get the hat.
Okay.
So I was in that temple that day. I didn't know it was that day. And I was saying, hey, what's special? Because everybody was like celebrating and stuff. And then they said, oh, this is the day she was born. I said, oh, that's so nice. That's so sweet. So I went and bought literally, I bought my own golden bowl,
Yeah.
I said, let me buy it. So then I decided to get up and leave. Okay. What? The vibration was still going on, and the vibration didn't stop. But I said, I'm done,
Really?
And then my spirit became very restless.
Yeah.
This never happened to me. That type of feeling I will never get. I will always be very calm.
Right.
So I go back.
I'm surprised that you even laughed.
I don't know what was going on in my head.
Yeah.
So I go back, and my mother looks at me. It looked like her heart was beating, and she looks. It literally looked like she was looking at me in energy, and she says, "Who asked you to leave? You have no permission yet." I'm not done with you. So actually, originally when I went there, I bought this. I mean, I usually grab all the bangles there.
Yeah.
So I put this red bangles on. So then I waited until that settled on. It ended up being 2 hours. I ended up waiting.
Wow.
So I said, okay, I cannot leave yet. But then I said, okay. I told her I'm going to take a break, go eat, and come back. So I went and had snacks and
I
stuff.
had a feeling because when you said you left, I'm like, why you left?
You also had the
yeah,
same feeling.
yeah, I'm like,
Yes.
no, you go back.
So then afterwards, she gave me permission to, but I cannot leave her area, like her guardian area.
Yeah.
So then I go back. I put this bagel on, okay, and I think when I went back home, my marriage pendant broke, and it almost looked like she was checking in with me, and
Yeah.
and that's because all my ancient teachers died that month.
Right.
And all of them, some of them physically I've met, and I think they all regrouped and saw my life, and I think they
That's
played
the
it
day that
out.
broke.
That day when I was sitting with her, like between this time and this, I didn't know that when I was changing to get into my pajamas,
Yeah.
I saw it fell, and I was stunned because it's never happened before.
Yeah.
And then I used to have a jingle bell on my feet.
Yeah.
That also broke.
Wow.
So I was thinking the clear message I got was you decide if you want to break this marriage, we will spare your husband's life. Otherwise, he's coming with us.
Oh.
That was the message I got because marriage pendant breaking in Indian time,
Yeah.
it means he's not in spirit. He's not allowed to continue. But whereas if I break the marriage in Christian way, I'll have a little bit more power. So they said not to. I cannot do this. Just like how Brigham and women that my professor said,
Yeah.
I'm going to
Yeah.
throw you out. It's not because I made a mistake, but he said clearly, you come to a place it is not acceptable.
Right.
And that's what they did.
That
for
was
me.
actually a blessing, I think, in the long run. For
Yes, but like, see, this one, because I was working with awareness, I could see she's saying, take me seriously.
Yeah.
I cannot let you continue like this.
Yeah.
Either you do it or I'll do it for you.
Right.
You put an end to it or I'll put an end to it, which you prefer. And I actually, I went back. I'll show you a picture of her. So there is another temple I went to thank because I felt I owed her the thank afterwards. All this played out because I had the guts to
Right.
take out the ring because my teacher was saying Christian wedding is only about legal separation. Hindu wedding is forever. You don't need to prove that you need to be committed to him just to have a wedding ring.
Right.
He says, for your life, dedicate to him, but do what is legally right. That's the second time coming around another way, okay?
Yeah.
So I went to the Hindu temple to thank after all this event happened on Tuesday night. I felt I really needed to go, and I didn't know whether to go back to the original temple. There is another priest from there. He's starting a new one.
Right.
He told me, can you support me, please? I really need you to guide me to start this because he developed cancer. And he says, as a payback, he wants to bring the temple. He says, we preach only religion, but I am seeing so many people falling apart like you, marriage not working and stuff. And I want it to be a community support system rather than prayer.
Right.
So he says, would you support me? Just you coming here, giving me $1 per day, I will do the prayers for you, for your family to be healthy. I said, that's a small thing, it's like giving a coffee to this guy, right?
Yeah.
So I said, okay, I'll do this. So I went back there, and then he decorated that my mother's spirit. I'm going to show you how he decorated it, and you will see. It was just a decoration of fabric with light on top.
Oh my God.
I actually didn't let him see me.
Oh, that is beautiful.
I felt it is not even a structure, it's just light.
Just light.
Yeah, look at that. That's the way he decorated, and that's when it hit me. It's light within me. He lit another pilot in me. This is just a sari.
Oh my God. That's amazing. Wow.
How beautiful, right?
Yeah,
And you know what?
unbelievable.
I didn't tell him. I put my head down on the floor
That
and
is
I sobbed.
amazing. Oh, I guess I would too,
I'm
though.
gonna show how beautiful it is. Like, see,
It
it's
is
not even,
absolutely
and
beautiful.
you can see it almost looks like a human being
Oh my
behind,
God, look at
right?
that!
I felt I felt so humbled,
Wow,
how much it's like my inner pilot was lit. And
that was
I lied down on the floor and I just sobbed.
yeah.
I don't think he saw me because I think he
You
could have
just feel
broken his
that
heart.
sense of
I felt relief.
relief. Yeah,
And
you
I said
just
it almost felt like he lit my pilot again,
yeah.
my priest. And then he said he's buying a land in
And that's the
Bellingham.
best kind of sobbing you can get when
Yeah.
you have that.
And he said he's buying a land next door, and he says be part of that, and trademark it for me so we can donate that space as each one, 50 $50 for 10 square feet.
Yeah,
I gave him the money,
yeah,
and then I went to that land and I did take the land and I put it on my forehead and
yeah,
I bowed down to the land
yeah.
and I sobbed it.
But that's that to me. When something like that happens, that's the best relief. It's the best feeling inside because it's meaningful. It's so meaningful when you sob like that. You know what I mean? When you get you're feeling it.
Actually, I don't know whether you can feel it. I'm going to let you touch my forehead. It feels like electricity. Touch my forehead.
Feels. Hmm, no, I don't feel it, but
I felt like how when you see little bubble coming up,
yeah.
and it was happening here. I don't know whether
You need to see if it's just
do
you. Oh yeah,
you feel that bubble,
I do
bubble,
feel
bubble?
it. Yeah, I did. You can feel the bubble, bubbles.
Yeah,
But
it's
it's
amazing.
continuous.
Yes.
Oh my goodness. Yeah.
So these are the way. See, when your vibration shifts, right? You can subtle energy can pick up.
You're
There'll be
gonna have to start
smell.
noticing a lot more from me.
You felt it, right?
Yes,
So
I did.
that is the way they communicate, the higher
Yeah.
beings. That's why I'm saying, if you understand how food affects us,
Look at me now. I'm gonna, wow. Okay.
you
Yeah.
can feel it, right?
Absolutely. Absolutely, I could feel it. And not in me, but in you, I did. Not me.
But that's because you need to understand how your body. You
Yeah.
need to understand because sometimes you can even this they call subclavicular embolism, air embolism, if it is pathological. There will be holes in the lung
Yeah.
that air will release.
Right.
But in Indian system, each hair follicle is capable of releasing it. This is bliss.
Every hair.
Every hair
single-
follicle,
Wow.
every hair follicle has this puff
And
thing
that's
in
in what,
image.
Hindu? You said in
No,
Hindu?
no.
Oh.
This is science of ancient religion.
Oh my goodness.
So, right, like how I asked my teacher, can he share with me the secret of releasing this air bubble?
Yeah.
He says, go read up the scriptures. He sent me this teacher from Bangalore,
Yeah.
Sri Nityananda Swami. He says, go read up the scripture. And he says, it's Veda, hymn 11, 22. He quoted this verse.
Mm-hmm.
And he had a specific name, Varaha Purana or something. And he says, this is where it's quoted. I could understand nothing seriously. It's like it's all in Sanskrit and stuff, and something it's like a
You're so down to earth.
like I'm like saying, oh please give me a break, don't ask me to go read, But what I'm saying is my teacher, even though he says it, he does it for me.
Yeah.
So when I went through this, he asked me to check in with him. I didn't because I was overwhelmed, like I cannot do that, go to him for counsel when I have to problem solve from my end. He cannot problem solve for me because saints, what they do is they don't have emotionally connection.
Right.
So they will fix the problem that would hurt my husband too. So I really cannot afford it.
Right.
So I really need to like be the filter, do what is right for each because I love my husband, I love my kids. I cannot afford them to take the brunt of.
I can tell you love your husband and kids, but does your husband undermine you with the kids though?
I think he plays both of us. Like, when my kids want, see the way my husband works. I'm going to tell you another story. Like, my eldest one was suspended from school for like some misbehavior.
Yeah.
I think I don't know whether he was caught, like drinking on the grounds or some issue happened.
Right.
I forgot the exact. Oh, actually, he got into trouble with school bus, like some fight. So uh, he said, "Mom," he called me from principal's office. He says, "Dad is going to kill me." I said, "One thing I know about your dad: when you're very powerful, he'll break you. But when you're very weak, he'll hold you." And
Yeah.
that's the space I like in my husband because it's not when I'm strong he breaks me, but when I am totally falling apart, he's the only source that pulls me back
Okay.
because
Yeah.
he knows how to find me in that abyss
Yeah.
and he will pull me back. Because
My
I
husband
one
had
night,
that
like
ability.
I was overnight. Remember, my car broke down
Yes.
and the tow truck didn't come. 4 o'clock, I was like passing out
Yeah.
before getting into the car. The cop stopped. He thought I was high. I was like, every minute I was passing on.
Yeah.
So he went and told the cop, no, AAA didn't show up, and like she's exhausted. And when DEA came to do audit in our home, they
Yeah.
did 6 hour audit. Every 10 minutes he harassed them. You didn't come announce. She is post call. She is exhausted. When are you leaving? They said 30 more minutes, Mr. Brown. 30 more minutes. He says you need to take off your shoes. They said we cannot. He says then you need to sit right by the door. So he made it like you understand, like he will give them like really
Yeah.
hard time. And the school called saying your children are not being appropriate, and he told them it looks like you have a problem teaching my kids. He says I can easily take them out. Problem is with you. Don't ask me to test my kids.
Right.
Tell
So
me what you're going to do. So
Right.
so he breaks down when people are very arrogant.
Yeah.
And actually, that's what I use as a tool to help people here.
Yeah.
But he also builds us up when we are falling apart
Which
too,
is
because he's a
important.
very good sponsor. He says, so my son will ask, "Mom, Dad, are we weird?" So he'll say, "Tell anybody who tells you that we are weird and we are proud of it."
Good. I like that.
So I think at some level we understand. So actually afterwards I told him, I said the reason I took off the ring is I was given a specific sign. Do I want to do this or that? And I would rather have you in my life.
Right.
But
Yeah.
it is not working. So he agreed. Like, I think he's the love of my life. And I told him, I said, hey, now that we are not married, you're even more attractive to me, my boyfriend. We laugh.
Yeah.
We get each other, but
What is it?
kids
It's not
don't
a, it's not a
understand.
mistress or anything. What is it?
I feel almost like I'm cheating on him
Yeah.
with his first wife,